What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tam Psych Advice. I'm Tamara, and today we're going to talk about seduction. So, do you feel like it's okay to seduce? Because when I hear the word seduce, I hear a negative connotation. And if an ENFJ does it, does that mean that the ENFJ is wrong? Or that they're just using their skills to get what they want? Oblivious to the fact that you are seducing someone. Do you think ENFJ seduction is a thing? ENFJs have been called smooth talking persuaders, manipulative manipulators, the best con artists, which most ENFJs would never do because they also have a very high level of conscientiousness, but ENFJs do seduce. So when we think of the word seduce, to seduce someone, you think of romantic relationships. Also, to tempt or influence someone to do something, especially something bad or something they wouldn't normally do. ENFJs can have such strong persuasive powers that they can get people to do some bad things if that's what they're wanting. ENFJs have deep insight and understanding. They can see things about the person that the person needs to do, and if they can persuade the person to do it, the person will be much better off. An ENFJ will take your situation, flip it, get some insight, and they will teach you how to be more effective. To me, that is a form of seduction. Yeah, ENFJs can be very, very flirty. ENFJs are smooth, they're glib, and they're definitely flirts. They get this big smile on their face and they reel people in. They can seduce people into their grand tutelages, or they can seduce someone into liking them more, to do what they want them to do, or to like their idea. So ENFJs have this like sticky spider web, and it just attracts people. They can revel and marvel in new friendships all the time because people want to be around them. If you tell an ENFJ you are so freaking seductive, what do you think the reaction will be? Persuasion with flirtatiousness. The issue is they don't necessarily mean to do that. That's the key factor. Seduction does have a negative connotation, like I'm making you do something that you otherwise would not want to do. If someone is persuading you to do something that is good for you, is that a form of seduction? It kind of has this enticing tone to it. That is what ENFJs do. They can be very engaging. They can make you feel a certain way, a little hypnotic. I read in the comment section of my videos sometimes people having crushes on ENFJs and they want advice about what to do. What is it about the ENFJ that you like? What is it that you find attractive? Because an ENFJ may not be able to answer that question without a lot of deep thought. They might be like, yeah, why do these people like me? They may not know the answer to that themselves, but I think there's a level of seduction that's happening. Let's say that an ENFJ who is highly intuitive is picking up on the fact that you have a huge crush. How is an ENFJ going to act? It's ignore you, run from you, stay in your face? Do you think they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this person likes me and I'm just going to take total advantage of it? It can get very complicated for an ENFJ real quick. And what often happens is they start seducing you while they're trying not to seduce you. So it's like an oxymoron. It's like I'm pulling you in, but what I'm trying to do is, because I'm so intuitive and I read people very well, I don't want to hurt your feelings and make you feel like I don't like you. And there's a curiosity that starts to happen. Like, I know you're liking me and I want to make you feel good about it, because the ENFJ naturally wants to make people feel what? Really good about themselves. And so even though I need you to feel bad about yourself right now, because if you keep coming towards me, you're probably going to get your feelings hurt. So what do? They're going to have a big gaping smile at you and reel you in with just like these hugs, these invisible hugs. They're going to start giving that to you. They're going to start letting you know you're amazing. I'm feeling your energy and I'm gonna play off of it. I'm gonna start to seduce you and accidentally reel you in because I know what you're thinking and I can't help but have this big smile at you because, okay, so now we're flirting with each other. There is something about you that I'm intrigued by. There's something about you that I really like a lot. But for whatever reason, you're married, you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you're taken, it's just not the right context. If I wasn't taken, now I'm playing with that because I can't just reject you because what is there to reject? There's something about you that I kind of dig. So now I'm doing this like flirt thing. And when an ENFJ likes you or reveres you, they're really gonna start flirting. Like their eyes will gleam and glisten, but also have like this hint of shyness. If you're both available, that could definitely be a sign that they like you because I'm being playful with you. An ENFJ will also seduce you with their curiosity. They are very, very, very curious about people and very interested. Now, there are some people that they're not that interested in, but if there's just a little something, you just give them a little bite of something, they're going to want to make you feel special. That is a seducing mechanism. So they may not be attracted to you in a romantic way, but they appreciate you and they want you to feel it. They might give you little treats when you walk by. They'll tell you how hard they notice that you're working. They start asking you lots of questions about who you are as a person. They start drawing these things out about you. Well, who doesn't want to be front and center and thought of as pretty incredible by somebody? And so that's what they start doing. They start digging deeper, more, coming at you from a different angle. What are your deepest fears? They want to know those things, and their curiosity can come across as seduction. If an ENFJ had one sentence that they could say to you, it would be, "Who are you?" That's it. If an ENFJ doesn't like you, like what would be the best response? To be like, yes, no, hello, go. But an ENFJ could find that lane occasionally where they're just like cold, like rude. But most of the times they don't have a heart to do that. I will give you an example. I'm an ENFJ and I remember working with this guy. My role was super intense. I was under a lot of pressure. I was learning a lot of new things and it was just overwhelmingly stressed. So I was not in a playful mood. I felt cranky. I felt overwhelmed, but I never showed it. I don't know if it was the way I would look at him, smile at him, engage with him, occasionally play with him, that it started to get way out of control. He started playing with me, coming into my office, turning the lights out. I know you might think an ENFJ is totally open and oh my gosh, let's just play. But you have to also understand that in some situations, no, I ain't playing. I'm smiling at you and we can joke occasionally, but I'm trying to get my job done. I was about to leave and when I came out, he was like, "Rawr!" And I went off. He saw a different side of me. I turned into a monster because I was like, I'm not in the mood to play. I'm really stressed out and I don't appreciate that. After that, our relationship totally changed because I capitalized on the opportunity that, okay, now I have him in a different light. Let me make him earn his way back. And he would still do whatever I wanted or needed him to do. I would still be very kind to him, but I just shifted into very serious. All of that may not have been his fault. It could have just been ENFJ seduction, which ENFJs can do sometimes, where they're reeling people in. It's the wrong thing to do, but it's like two things happening at once. The opposite of how I'm feeling, because I don't want you to know, because I don't want your feelings hurt. And is that the correct thing to do? And they just like people. They want people to feel appreciated and cared for. And that is a problem. ENFJs can be huge flirts, and when they turn that flirt valve on, it's hard to turn it off. And they don't bump into that feeling of flirtatiousness all the time, but when they do, they can go very deep and they can go kind of crazy with it. So that could be turned on. What about when it's a situation where they know that it's ethically and morally wrong? Like, you're taken, they're taken. They will be a little flirty sometimes. And ENFJ may have difficulty doing that because they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. So it's like they reel you in, avoid, which can kind of create this push-pull, but it's also like intermittent rewards. So the person doesn't know when they're going to get rewarded, and so it draws the person in more, and that could become very toxic and difficult. So even though they're seducing, they still have that very strong, powerful ethics and morals and values that are driving underneath. And so they're also going to figure out how to steer clear or avoid that situation. So it can become very tricky. An ENFJ may also attract people that they're not trying to attract at all. They could be people that are absolutely 100% not their type at all, for whatever their personal reasons are, morals, whatever. And the next thing you know, they're reeling everybody in, and they're not trying to do that. Sometimes ENFJs can reel people in. They're not trying, they're not smiling, they're not batting their eyelashes, they're not being super chivalrous. They're just being themselves. And the next thing they know, they have all these people who are liking them. They could be at their worst. Why are all of these people coming for me? It's just an ENFJ thing. Like, they have a spirit of seduction on them. ENFJs have a very unique energy, and people can become addicted to it. So on the other hand, if an ENFJ is deliberately trying to seduce, like there's somebody that they're really feeling, or they really, hey, I'm so curious, I might not be thinking of you all the way in a relationship, but there's enough there that I want to play with it. And, they might start you off on a Ferris wheel, and the next thing you know, you are on a roller coaster and you can't get off. It can be pretty intense. An ENFJ might be thinking, hey, let's go. Let's see how far we can take this without going anywhere with this. ENFJ might give you that big seductive smile that makes you flip your hair when you walk by. ENFJ is more interested in you than showing you all their cards. So they might want to play things out, see who you are, see what makes you tick, see what lies on the other side of you. It's that deep, crazy curiosity about you, about a person, that can be the thing that draws you in. Frankly, sometimes an ENFJ is just trying to make you feel good about yourself. Like, they're just trying to appease you, or they see that you're interested in them, but they're not caught up to that point yet. But they like being around you because you're very nice, you're not a jerk, you're not a narcissist, so that feels good. They are uncomfortable not making you feel comfortable, and comfortable can come at a price. So a clue would be, are they feeling really bashful around you? Are they like heavily flirting back with you, like you guys are sparring with each other? Or are they just being themselves and there's something about them that you just really like? It might be okay to follow that train of action for a while and just enjoy getting to know you. Being around an ENFJ can make them like you more and more and more. ENFJs are also deeply compassionate about people. So maybe you've gone through something and they are drawn to your energy because they want to help you. They want to make things better. They want you to feel heard. Sometimes what can cause them to seduce is the way that you walk, the way that you talk, the way that you dress, the way that you wear your hair, your style of speech. It can be a whole lot of different things. ENFJs, like I said, can be oblivious that they are seducing you. They will begin to wonder, like, can we jump into some friendship? So that can be a little bit tricky because they are fanning the flame while they're trying to put it out at the same time. And that equals friction, and it equals seduction. ENFJs can seduce without saying a word. It could be a look, a touch, a smirk, a word, a gaze. ENFJ knows. It's like all of the little things. And if you are trying to seduce each other, that can be a lot of fun. And sometimes it could be just a great conversation. Like they could be flirting with you, but then when you actually talk, you're actually talking about a whole bunch of nothing, like Seinfeld. ENFJs can hop from going into a very playful conversation with you to having a very deep, deep conversation. They can go very, very deep, so you're seeing different sides of them. Kindness is a huge seducing factor for an ENFJ. Why? Most people cannot reach the level of kindness that an ENFJ can. I mean, most people can give you flowers, or they can say a kind word, or they can help you up if you fall, or if you drop your papers, they'll pick them up, or hey, let me step in and help you with that project, or I'll help you sweep your floor. An ENFJ may not be any of those things, and yet if kindness was a person, it would be ENFJ. They know how to reach kindness and niceness in a very indescribable way. And it's difficult to emulate because they might not be doing a thing for you. And yet you feel their presence. You feel understood. You feel wanted. You feel listened to. You feel special. You feel engaged. Like this person is just all there for you, all into you, into your shoes. And they do it in a very subtle way. So it's not even like this overbearing, like I'm over you, or I want you to feel like I'm being kind to you. It's not like that. It's part of their personality. They wear it like clothing. There's something about that kindness that people want to be around. They want to dance with it. They want to be in its presence. They want that person to like them. ENFJs can also be seductive by the way that they're looking at you, and they may not be giving you all of them. ENFJs are often holding a lot back, and so that can be very seductive. It's like, I'm being very surface with you, but there's so much more depth to an ENFJ than just this feeling side. You have to remember they have introverted intuition, and that thing is always working. It is like playing with a puzzle that never stops going. They know how to be with you because they are feeling you. Or ENFJ doesn't always know who they are until they mesh with your energy. So if you're a very quiet person, they're going to mesh with that energy. If you are very gregarious, they're going to mesh with that energy. And what happens sometimes is there's somebody whose energy is kind of toxic. We're having lunch and I want to talk to you and be with you. And the ENFJ has to learn how to adapt to that energy and become friends with it. ENFJs have a way of making you feel like they've got your back. You don't have to worry. I've got you. You're safe with me. We'll figure this out together. There's no need for shame or hiding of insecurities. You can trust me. You can be real with me. I'm not judging you. ENFJ conveys this very well to people, even if they really are to some degree judging the person. they still have the person's best interest in mind. What's more seductive than someone sincerely wanting you to be okay and to be comfortable and at ease? They can care too deeply for people who don't even deserve it. Their compassion is real, and they have a way of making people feel it. Their curiosity for human beings is super seductive because it can't be quieted. It's like an itch that won't go away. No matter how much you reveal to them, it just can't be appeased. They seduce to the apple's core and then eat the seeds. Save a few to be planted, and you'll probably never fully see it. Just trust that it's happening. Seduction is always happening. Curiosity rages like teenage hormones. They draw you closer as they try to figure out who you are to the minutia. ENFJs scan skeletal makeups, and then they know how to be. They know how to be kind to people in the deepest way possible. It's kind of like if you're wrapping the finest crystal, you be delicate with it, immaculate. ENFJs have a natural gift of handling people's hearts, minds, and situations with deliberate tenderness. They understand and they want you to absorb the love. They know there's healing in it. They step into you. It's very perplexing to an ENFJ if you tell them you are seducing people. They're probably not going to know what you're talking about. Like, if you are right-handed, does it come naturally to you? So an ENFJ's seductive nature or ability to seduce, it comes naturally, it comes authentically and genuinely. It is not to hurt, it is to bring out who that person is. ENFJ secretly wishes to show you everything about who they are, but that can be really difficult for them to do. Truth is, ENFJs aren't trying to hook most people at all. Truth is, they often scrutinize their own presentation and don't fully understand who they are, but somehow their interaction with you brings them closer to who they think they are or want to be. This can often leave them feeling disappointed in themselves to some degree. Their interaction with you could have been so much better, more helpful, or more meaningful. Before you judge them, they are already examining themselves under a microscope. So what is seduction anyway? Especially if said person is only trying to entice you to not see the confusing emotions, the perfectionism, the dissatisfaction that they have in their life that sometimes creeps in, to reel you into a course of action to see one thing, when over time, the ENFJ hopes that they can show you who they really are, a person with hopes and dreams, flaws and blemishes. If you want to make your romantic life better, I would highly suggest you check out my book, Flip the Script on Love by Tamara Zyon. It's on Amazon. And guess what? It was written from the perspective of an ENFJ. So you can see a little bit more of how my inner world works, and maybe it will help you to also understand ENFJs just a little bit better. Let me know if you are an ENFJ and if you feel like you seduce people sometimes. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.